late. It wasn't our fault. Honest, it wasn't. We prepared for this all night, all day, weeks. We've been doing live events. They've been working great. But tonight we did have some technical difficulties, and so we're a little bit late, but here we are. We still have a great lineup of wedding professionals, and we have some great content for you that you can walk away with, make you feel a little bit better, a little bit less stress, and answer any questions that you have too. Things are still a little weird, even though things are getting better, they're still a little weird. So we're here to help, and we have some great Rochester wedding professionals here to do that as well. First of all, tonight, again, ask any questions that you have. We're going to answer them as quickly as we possibly can. And for every question that you ask, your name will go into our drawing, so we can do a giveaway later on this week, probably before Friday. We love giveaways. Got to do something fun for tonight, right? And what a better way to reward you for asking questions. So I'm going to introduce our first guest, Jeff from Whirling Disc. Let me zip over and see Jeff. Where's Jeff? There's Jeff. Hey, Jeff.
You got me now?
All right, loud and clear.
Loud and clear.
So, Jeff from Whirling Disc, how's Jeff doing tonight?
Oh, we're doing well. You know, it's a different time in the world right now, a little unprecedented, but we're doing everything we can to work with our clients and take care of the families and make things continue to the best of our ability for the people that have hired us to do their weddings.
Awesome, awesome. So tell me any little things that you've had to do out of the ordinary, and you know, just like weird flexibility things for wedding dates.
Well, and that's what we're doing right now. Really, it's being flexible and assuring our clients that we're going to take care of them. I had 2 phone calls today for both August brides, August 1st and August 8th, and you could just hear the panic in their voices when they're calling. They're concerned about are they going to be able to have their event, and both these brides actually called and wanted to know, can they change their date? They just they're going to postpone till next year, and what are we going to do for them? Are they going to lose their money? And the answer is no, they're not going to lose their money. We are rescheduling anybody that wants to move their date. Just give us the new date as long as we're available. And so far, out of the 32 weddings we've had, we've been able to reschedule every last one of them.
Oh, that's fantastic.
So between obviously all of April and most of May, I do have a couple of hangers on in May that really want to hang on to their date. You know, and I'm encouraging people to do that. If they have that special date and you want to hang on to your date, hang on to your date until you don't think you can, or the government says that you can't. You know, but it's also making sure that you're comfortable and you're comfortable with potentially your guests coming in from out of town, having places to stay. And that's where we're at. We're just really trying to make sure that all our clients know what we're going to do for them. We're going to take care of them. We've got them covered.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So working with the facilities, there really hasn't been anything too crazy at this point.
No, I mean, I'm in touch with a lot of the facilities that we've worked with at a lot. You know, but just like we are, they're working from home. They're not at the facility, and they're waiting for the next instructions from the counties and the state to tell us what we can do and where we're going next.
Gotcha.
You know, so it's a challenge, you know, but right now it's really making sure that we're checking our emails, answering the phones, anytime one of our clients calls. But I've been reaching out to our clients, especially, you know, the May, Junes, and early Julys now, making sure that, you know, they know that we've got them covered. I've spoken to almost everyone that I personally can, you know, and it's just staying busy, but making sure the clients are aware that we've got them. We're going to take care of this for them.
That's awesome. So what is your summer and fall schedule look like?
And that's fall is always the biggest and busiest wedding time of the year for us at the moment. You know, so a handful of our brides, you know, they want to know what dates we've got available. You know, and October 10th, 2020 has been a date that's been booked since January of last year. So if they were looking to move to Saturday of Columbus Day weekend, unfortunately, we're not going to be able to accommodate them. But most of them, understanding, and when we're talking to their venues, the venues are giving the dates that they've got available, and their Fridays and Sundays and the odd Saturdays, and we've been able to cover those. And then the ones that just want to move to next year, we're letting them move to next year.
That's awesome. So there's a lot of flexibility there.
There has to be,
Yeah.
as long as we, it's, I'm not a one-man or a solo op disc jockey service. We do up to 5 events a day. I have 7 DJs at my, but I'm also not booking beyond what we normally book at. Even if I have a client that wants to move to a date, there's a reason we have backup, is so that we can cover any emergency situations that might occur too.
That's awesome. And I think that's the biggest thing, is having the team behind it, being able to cover any of those situations.
Yeah, it's we that have been in the wedding industry, and I think everybody that's going to be on with you tonight has been in the industry 10, 15, 20 or more years. You get to the point where we work together, we work with the other vendors, we work with the facilities. So, it's one of those things that, because we do work with each other all the time, we are covering for each other to make sure the client gets the best service they possibly can.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, and that's one thing that I really love about working with so many great professionals, is that everybody is doing anything they can for each other, and reaching out and really going out of their way. And that's one thing that is really cool to see, because brides don't have to worry, because everybody's got their back, really.
And that's what we try to do. Even here, in the DJ business, I have no issues with reaching out to John or Rich from Encore, and there's other DJ services out there that, it's a friendly competition, but we're all in the same business. So for the most part, we all get along well. You always have your outliers, but it's one of those things that I have respect for what they do. And, if a client calls, and if a potential client calls and say, hey, what do you think about those guys? I have a good working relationship with them, so whether it's my competition or it's a photographer, videographer, it's one of those things that we have to work with each other. And in our own industry, it's best if we do work with each other.
Absolutely.
So it's, while they are my competitors, they're also friends.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's really cool to see how people work together in the business, because the end goal is taking care of couples. That's it.
Right. We want to make sure we provide the best experience for our clients every time we have a chance to do that for them.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Jeff. I really appreciate you being here tonight, and stick around if you want. We might have some questions for you later from some couples. Right now, I want to switch it over to our friend Randy Barkin from Incognito Menswear. There's Randy. Hey, Randy.
Yo, what's going on? How are you?
Hey, we're having our get together, so to say, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Fun.
We can't.
You guys do a great job. Thank you so much for putting this together, man. It's great.
Yeah. Well, you know what? It's a great way to be able to still connect without being at a bridal show, right? I mean, I like it better than a phone call too, because we can see each other. We can see, where you live, what your bedroom looks like. This is my bedroom. This is in my bedroom.
You see this screen, right? So this screen we purchased that's the Zoom screen. We didn't have that till about a week ago. We had to get it so we could use this in the office. So yeah, no,
that's great.
It's a different world. It's working out great. So my wife's working from home. I'm working from home. Even though we have been into the shop quite a few times, just taking care of customers' needs. But yeah, it's a different time for sure. Like Jeff said, it's definitely a different time now.
That's awesome. So you guys do a great job of outfitting men for their, well, and some women too, right? For their weddings. At our last fashion show, I saw some of
Yes.
your incredible staff on the runway. She was amazing. Who was that? It wasn't Nancy, it was Nicole?
Well, Nicole worked, she's the one that does all the bridal shows and coordinates the shows for us. We had Rebecca Dodge, who's a wedding consultant here in town, was on the runway with us. And yeah, she did a great job. She's has a lot of energy. She is full of energy, that one. And we're thrilled to be working with her on a pretty regular basis.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah. So, mostly men, of course, men's wear, but having that that special treat on the runway was fun. We had a lot of fun with that. So, tell us what's going on at Incognito while we're waiting for the big green light.
Yeah. Well, so obviously it's been a challenge. I mean, this thing started right before our prom season started, so which is a huge time for the tuxedo and suit business. Nonetheless, we had a very big wedding season
You shut it off?
already on the books for 2020, and many of them have postponed into the fall and summer at this point, and we've been able to accommodate. I mean, we're able, unlike DJs and photographers that are somewhat limited with their ability because of like they have to be at the event. We're able to accommodate and just move the weddings to the dates that they need to be moved to. So we've had, to this point, we've had no cancellations, just date changes. And like I said, many of them have been into the summer and quite a few into 2021.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So also we've been taking some time at the store. We had actually had the upstairs and part of the downstairs repainted. Never in my dreams did I think I'd be repainting my store in the middle of April. Usually we don't even have room to move in the middle of April. So we repainted and did some cleaning, got the store brightened up, changed the lighting around, cleaned things out. So just trying to get ready for when we do reopen and when we're able to start having the customers come through again.
So clean and safe and fresh paint. It's going to look good.
Well, we look good before, Theo. Come on, let's be honest. But
it's going to look better.
It's going to look even better. It's going to look even better. It's going to be right. I mean, we know that it's going to be a different time when we reopen. People aren't going to want to walk into a store with 30, 40 people hanging around. So we're trying to get ready and make those changes for when we do get the green light, that customers can come into our store and feel comfortable and feel safe. Switching to a reservation system, so brides and grooms can go online and make reservations to come in. We're not taking walk-ins initially. We're going to hope that we can work on that reservation system. And as you know, we have the upstairs and the downstairs. So our upstairs showroom, which has traditionally been for our wedding and suit and tuxedo business, that'll be limited to bride and groom or one fitting. And then we have the large downstairs area, which is going to give us the ability to do fittings and have retail customers that are going to need suits or tuxedos come in there. We're really going to try to focus on the appointments.
Awesome. Yeah, and you've got great space there. And I think, with those appointments, everybody's going to feel really comfortable with the downstairs and upstairs that you have. I mean, that's really nice space.
Yeah, it's really been great for us. We're very fortunate, and it's worked out well.
Awesome. So when we get the green light and everyone wants to come in, how should they make an appointment to get in there?
Yeah, so they can go right to the website at incognitomenswear.com. And I should mention that we've been doing a lot of Zoom wedding consultations right now. So people, if they are still looking for tuxes or suits for 2020 or 2021, they can actually book an online consultation, and both myself and Nancy can meet with them and go over their options, explain the procedures. A lot of people are very concerned about how to get people's size. That's like the big question that we have with wedding parties. They want to know, how do I get people's size? How can Incognito help people that are out of town and you're only in Rochester? And one of the biggest misconceptions in our industry is that people think that country.
how to
Well,
get
the
people
reality of
to
it
sign.
is,
That's like the big question
really,
we have with wedding parties. How do I get people to sign? How can you get, help people that are out of town? You're in Rochester and there's misconceptions in our industry.
we're able to have them come into the store when they do get into Rochester. Things right at the fingertips. So you don't have to have people track it. You've got it all.
Sorry about that. I was having a little bit
Yeah,
of an
no
issue there. Okay,
problem.
I'm back. Whoa.
Man, that was my best spiel right there.
I still caught it. I still caught it. It was still
All
in,
right.
and I recorded it too. So
All right.
that'll be actually the recording will be even better.
Yeah,
Thank you.
You guys are on.
Well, we're trying. That's the important thing, and I think, again, in the midst of all this, seeing everybody trying to accommodate and take care of each other has been so awesome.
It's been important for us to be able to, in Zoom, no one really knew about Zoom 2 months ago. It was a fairly new technology. I know there's been a lot of platforms out there, but all of a sudden everyone's using it and doing it. And, it's been great because, aside from the new weddings that have wanted to be on, to touch base with us and to have conferences, we've been able to communicate with our existing weddings and talk to them and assure them that, everything's fine. We're going to be here for you when you need us, whether it's in May, June, or in the fall or next year, whatever it is, we're going to be here for you. So don't worry about it. We're going to be able to take care of your tuxes or suits. So, the fitting aspect has been a concern for a lot of brides, and we have videos that people can do fittings at home. I bought 500 tape measures. If I need to mail them to customers and walk them through the process, we can do that. So whatever it takes to get people taken care of, like all the incredible merchants that you have on here today, we're going to do it. Small business, like I heard my friend and competitor Les say on your last bridal event, small businesses need you more than ever. And, the small businesses are the people that are going to be here for you through the thick and thin. And we're just, hoping that people will remember that when the doors do open again for all of our businesses.
Yeah, and it's just a matter of time. And I think that's the other thing that people need to realize, and it's hard to when you're in the midst of all this, is to realize, this is just temporary, and it's just a matter of time before we get back to, doing things in a somewhat normal way and, being able to actually, have gatherings and stuff like that. It's just a matter of time.
Just a matter of time. We got some time.
We got some time. Well, thank you again for being here, Randy. I really appreciate it, and I appreciate what you're doing for all the couples out there. So definitely check out the website, Incognito Menswear, so they can touch base with you and schedule a meeting when we get the big green light.
Thanks, Theo. Thank you for everything you guys do. I appreciate it.
Oh, my pleasure. I'm glad that you're here. Let's swing over and chat with my friend John from Encore. Hi, John.
Hey, I'm ready for that big green button. Do you have the big green button, Theo? I'm ready for the big green button.
I wish I had the green button, but
whoever's got that, let's break that thing out.
I'm gonna make one.
I'm in.
But you know what I realized as I was talking to my wife the other day is that, we had over the last couple of weeks, we had this incline, right, of what we did. First we couldn't gather with 500, then they said don't gather for 250, don't gather for the 100, and then 50, and then 10, and just don't do it at all. So on the back side of it, I can see it being, okay, we're going to gather with 10. Okay, 50's good. Okay, we're ready for 100. So it's just coming back down. And fortunately, we're going to be coming back down that really soon. It's just a matter of, how long that takes. So
I've decided to retire from the guessing occupation, though. I'm done with the guessing part.
Yeah.
No more day guessing for me.
Yeah, I don't think anybody knows.
Well, but hey, there are things that you can do, though. Can I jump in on that? Some things that you can do?
Please.
Dude, all right. So we hear from our clients, and of course, we're active on social media sites where people are collecting to talk about like, what do we do, right? And I think a lot of the bad feeling or the not sure and all those bummer vibes that brides are getting and couples are getting right now, mostly are to do with the fact they just don't know what to do, right? Their date might not be like in imminent danger, but they're having, bad feelings about what to do because they're not sure what to do. So the first advice I would give is to just stay engaged with your wedding planning, right? It's a great time while we're locked up to go grab those planning forms that your venue gave you, break out that seating chart you should have gotten done. I'm sure your DJ has given you guys a website or a planning form to start picking music and things like that. Stay busy, right, with the planning, and you'll feel better that you're doing something. I would also recommend that, look, there are so many awesome wedding vendors right now that are doing some cool events to stay engaged with their clients. Things like this, I know there's a lot of vendors that are doing online meetups with their clients. We do a virtual open house twice a month. We have one next Thursday. Commercial alert: Encore's virtual open house next Thursday. Sorry.
So where do they get information on that?
So if you've ever emailed me once in your life, you're getting spammed to hell from me about our virtual open houses right now. But our social media, our Instagram page at Encore Events, and our Facebook page are great places to get those things. But look for us. We're trying to find ways to let our customers and our prospective customers know we're still in business. We're in our basements, but we are working every day. And the best advice I can give, if you're not sure what to do, is just stay busy. Call your vendors, say hi, find out what they're doing, stay engaged with them. And there's a lot of photographers that are doing those porch sessions, and some people feel good or bad about the safety of that, but they're doing that. Find ways to stay busy and stay engaged with your vendors. I think is really smart. It's just mentally going to make you feel better that you're still working towards the goal of your wedding. Of course, the big question that we all get, which is what I retired from the guessing business, is, look, when should we, decide to postpone? And what we've really found, there is no stock answer for that, right? There's no line on a calendar that says this is when you should postpone. And I have clients that are really, holding faith for mid-June. I've got clients that are freaked out about October. So there's no right answer. I would say, right? I mean, I think we've all been there. That I have people that are like, no, dude, don't be pessimistic. June 15th is going to happen. And I have a bride who called me like, man, October, I'm totally paranoid. So you don't know. I would say things to think about are certainly, travel, and especially international travel and stuff like that. But be tight with your venue. And really the venue is the linchpin here, right? Because they're going to be the ones that are really forced to deal with the restrictions of how many people are together. So, stick with your venue and be in good communication with them about your date. Most venues that we work with are allowing clients to hold their existing date and then build into it a rain date or a makeup date, which I think is super smart. It's putting a soft hold on a backup plan so your vendors have something else to shoot for. But at the same time, look, we're holding faith that this could happen. And look, let's add some perspective, right? I mean, it was just about a month ago that people were packed in bars for St. Patrick's Day. Ask my boss, he's on next. He was DJing in a bar a month ago. And all these things that would seem crazy a month ago have happened in a month. It feels like a year. I don't know if any of y'all have kids and we're working from home and like trying to make school happen and all that. It feels like a hell of a lot longer than a month. But it's only been a month. And like you mentioned, Theo, that curve of things that have happened, these new guidelines happen super fast. And we don't know, it could go the other way. But what I'm telling people is, look, don't panic about anything. One, everyone's got your best interests at heart. But don't panic and cancel too early. Try to find a rain date, and check with all your venue and your other vendors about that rain date. But I also say it's smart right now too. Even if you're not in imminent danger of your date, start collecting all your contracts. Start reading what your contracts say. Because look, every vendor that I know is going to be super flexible. Like Jeff was talking about, and Jeff's an amazing DJ and a great vendor. And he's talking about, hey, look, we're going to make it happen. I think most the wedding vendors are on the same page for that. But before you ask for flexibility, you should know what the baselines are. You should know what your contract actually says. It's going to really facilitate your conversation with any of your vendors. If you can go in there and already know what your contract says, it really spares you the shock of someone telling you something you don't want to hear. In a minute, my boss, Rich, is going to jump on and talk about specific clauses in your contract, like force majeure and things like that, that really can impact what happens with your contract. I would say this, before you have those conversations, know your contract, but also know that, look, most of the vendors in our industry are small businesses, even the big ones, right? Even the big fish are privately owned, what we would classify as small businesses. And all of us have kids, all of us have bills and mortgages and things like that. So these are none of us are dealing with IBM or Amazon, right? These are small businesses. So you may not hear everything you want to hear, but know that we've got your best interests at heart, and we would do everything we can. And having conversation and staying in contact is the best we can do. But if I can throw it to my boss, Rich, he's going to talk a little bit about contracts, what should be in your contract if you have to redo a contract, how to protect yourself as a client, and as what might be already in there that protects you. These things you should think about. Rich.
All right. That's awesome information. John, one quick question.
Yeah.
One of the brides online was asking how to get a hold of your pricing information. She's ready to go.
$1 million. I'm ready. Let's go. $1 million. No, hey, so personally, we do pricing pretty custom, and that's not to be dodgy about a price, but we don't do like a bronze, silver, gold, platinum package, right? We try to build a package for a client that makes the most sense for their needs and the venue they're in and those kind of things. So the best thing you do is call me. You should definitely call me because I'm sitting in my basement and I'd love to take any call that's not somebody trying to cancel. So call me and I'll give you good pricing.
All right.
RochesterDJ.com.
What's the phone number? We're
585-872-9335. RochesterDJ.com. It's easy to find us. Shoot us an email.
All right. Sounds good. Thanks for asking that question, Christy. I appreciate that. All right. Let's chat with the infamous Rich. There he is. Rich Cranston, the owner of Encore Entertainment. There he is. Hey, Rich.
Hey, boss.
Infamous for sure. Thank you for that great intro feel. And I don't know how I'm supposed to follow up John. I mean, he's legendary in himself, and that was a great synopsis of he's a great industry representative. I think you all agree with me on that.
There we go.
Yeah. All right. So we're talking about contracts, and of course, John gets to talk about the fun, fluffy stuff, and you bring in the retired police officer to talk about contracts. So I will let you right now. I'm going to talk about something called force majeure in your contract. Hopefully, it's there. But when you are dealing with a situation with you have a relationship with a vendor, you should have something in writing. Hopefully, you do. And when you enter into that agreement, whether it's a DJ or florist or dress, you have an agreement that I am buying X and you're going to be giving me Y. And that should be in writing, black and white. Now, there should be some sort of consideration. And I just want to disclaim, I am not an attorney. Okay? Again, I am not an attorney. I'm a DJ. So
good visuals.
Okay. But there's something called consideration, and that typically is in the form of a retainer or a deposit. So for us, we don't consider any event to be valid or actionable unless we have a contract and a retainer. So if one is missing, I think the court might have some sort of trouble trying to enforce that because there was no consideration for a contract or there was nothing in writing, but you gave the person money. How did you agree on something? So I will preface this conversation with this, is that we are all humans here. I'm going to be talking about contracts. I think we should just kind of leave small claims court and the courts and all that stuff aside. We should talk about, listen, we have this thing going on here. We need to get from A to B, and there is a tree down in the middle of the road. How are we going to get around that as humans? So this needs to be a human element to it. But you should know what's going on, because unfortunately, I'm reading on Facebook this past weekend, a number of DJs are either canceling or they're not available for clients. And how should the couples have, what sort of recourse do they have? So force majeure is simply this. It's a French word meaning superior force. Okay, so basically, if and I'll use us for an example. If a couple comes in and they want to hire Encore for DJ entertainment, right? Something in the middle that is beyond their control is prohibiting either party from acting on that contract. The couple can't have the event at the venue because the venue is not open because New York State governor says we're not going to let you do business until July 1st. Okay, the DJ is available to work, but we can't get in the venue because of that same government mandate. And so I can't sue the client, and the client can't sue me. We're at an impasse. So force majeure kind of puts everything in the middle. We all start back at square one, and we refer to the contract. So you know, if you're a vendor, and you have this clause in your contract, I would kind of get into like, what is your niche, right? So a force majeure could be, if you're a florist, there could be droughts prohibiting you from getting flowers from some sort of part of the U.S. into our local area. Or if you're a caterer, maybe, or a rental company, labor strikes, or oil embargoes, or gasoline shortages. If you're a caterer, Julia Kay, maybe she gets food from a different part of New York State. You know, so vendors, if you're listening, you should have your force majeure clause specific to your niche. But absolutely, this should be like a pandemic level wording in your contract. And it really all comes down to how we're going to get past this. So for us, we're holding events from a year from the cancellation. You know, if we're postponing nationwide, couples are 96% they're postponing and 4% are canceling. Those numbers are great. And we're seeing the same numbers locally. So this is something that definitely should be in the contract. You know, and it really depends on how much that deposit was made too. I mean, if you're at a venue paying $2,000 or a DJ paying $75, you know, what's it worth for you if you needed to hire an attorney or have someone interpret that? It's all up to you. But in the end, let's try to make this thing happen. And if I can leave with one thing, from a vendor point of view, we are all working very, very hard for you. And it just, I can understand, because consumer behavior, I would probably ask the same thing, but I just don't think it's reasonable to ask for a deposit back, because as business owners, we undergo a certain cost to attract you. We undergo a certain cost to market. CEO, as much as I love him and his team, he doesn't do this for free. So we have bills, we have labor expenses, and not for nothing, those times that we've talked to you and nurtured you by email and given you ideas at the initial consult meeting, that's intellectual property. That's coming from 21 years in the business and giving you ideas. We can't take that back. So, so as far as deposits, we have a non-refundable retainer. We call them retainers, not deposits. Deposits are typically refundable. Retainers are not. So that's just a word for the wise. We're not charging any extra or adding any other fees to change the date or adding another retainer or deposit. We're just moving everything laterally. But just please think twice about just asking for that deposit back, so you're leaving the vendor with absolutely zero.
Right. Well, and I think the important point with that too is that the vendors, all the wedding professionals, are being very flexible with still doing what we can. Very few people are canceling. Let's just move to the date, you know, find a date and still make this happen. And I think that's really inspiring. That's awesome. That's great to hear. Well, thanks for that, John. I really appreciate that. It's so good to see you, John, Rich, John and Rich, Rich and John.
That's all right.
Got both of you here tonight. It's so exciting.
We're interchangeable. We're interchangeable. Thank you, Theo, Lisa, Kathy.
My pleasure. My pleasure.
Thanks for doing this.
So let's skip over to Mike at Michael DiMaria Photography. There's Mike. Hey, Mike, how are you? Okay, hold on one sec. I got you muted. Let me unmute you so we can hear you.
Unmute. Can you hear me?
There we go. Loud and clear.
I'm doing good, Theo. How are you?
I'm fantastic. I see you have my favorite portrait behind you.
Yes.
Yes, I love
Big
that.
one, but thank you.
Canandaigua by the water. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
So what's going on in your world tonight?
Oh, you know, the usual, enjoying quarantine.
I like that positive attitude. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Hey, the other day when I called you, you had to go because you had a bride trying to get in touch with you. How'd that go?
Yeah. Oh, good. It went good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember when that was exactly that we spoke, but
Yeah.
yeah, there's still people inquiring and about dates coming up, and even inquiring about doing, changing their game plan a little bit, and just seeing what I'm able to do for them, flexibility wise, date wise. Which of course, we're being super flexible and helping people out every way we can.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So has there been any kind of request that you haven't been able to fulfill so far?
I mean, there were a number of events that have been canceled so far. I personally don't have any weddings until July. So, we'll see what happens. We're not sure yet. Yeah. Yeah.
We'll go from there. So, so a lot of brides on RochesterWedding.com and on our Facebook page are still actively planning their upcoming weddings, their summer, fall, next year.
Right.
So for anybody continuing to plan and they're looking for photography, I try to tell people, that you need to take the time to sit down with them and really know who they are and know their experience, because that experience is priceless. What are some of the things that you can suggest to couples looking for photography?
Yeah, I mean, the list of do's and don'ts for looking for a photographer, there's a lot of good tips and tricks. We could talk for 20 or 30 minutes and just lay out lots of good info for people.
All right, you got 4 minutes.
Yeah. Shopping for wedding photography is different than probably anything brides and grooms have ever shopped for before. It's a different thing. We're used to shopping for items, right? Things,
the dress, the suit, yeah,
and we're used to shopping for things online and in stores, and wedding photography it's different, right? And I think the biggest don't is very counterintuitive, and it speaks to what you said about sitting down and meeting people and getting to know them. Most of us instinctively ask for a price as the very first step for shopping for most things, right? And that makes sense for most things, but it's important to understand that wedding photography is a very different thing to shop for a lot of reasons. And comparing photographers on paper by looking at pricing sheets can actually be a bad thing, can be really rough, can actually be deceptive. And there's a few reasons for that.
Oh, gosh. Why does Mike DeMaria look like that?
I think I hear somebody talking there. I think he's muted now.
Yeah, I think Rich was commenting on the awesome sweater that you're wearing. You'll have to tell him where you got it later.
Okay. I'll try to remember. Yeah. Digging out clothes from the bottom of the dresser drawers, trying to pick something new every day, mix it up a little bit. But yeah, I mean, the biggest point is there's some subtle reasons that you wouldn't normally think of that can be bad for you if you're shopping for photographers on paper. There's a lot of things that we do that don't easily make it onto a price sheet. And like you said, it's important to sit down and actually meet with people and get to know them. If you can't do it in person now, we can do video meetings. We can even do phone meetings. But your relationship with your photographer is important, right? Your photographer is with you all day. right? Your photographer, if you're a bride, the photographer is going to be with you more than anyone else that day, more than your bridesmaids, more than even your groom, right? He's going to be with you all day. So you should really like him or her. And you can't tell that from, looking at a pricing sheet that someone emailed you. But another really important point that most people don't realize is that this one's important. Different photographers mean drastically different things by the exact same terms. So what I mean is, if you have two photographers with two different pricing sheets that you're looking at on your desk, they could both have items like album or get digital copies of your pictures, and you might think that's apples to apples, but it's not necessarily. They can mean drastically different things. So if you're just looking at price sheets without having actually gone through it with the photographer, talked about it, let him explain all those items, ask questions about them, you could be missing, what that item really is, even if you've spoke with other photographers about it. So, it's important to have a rough idea where your budget should be, but you should remain open also. There's actually ways we won't get into today just because of time, but I'm happy to talk with people about, but there's ways that you can actually be able to stretch and afford, for example, a more expensive photographer without actually spending more yourself. It sounds impossible, but there's things about juggling budgets and creative things that my clients have done to be able to hire me in some cases that I share with my clients. So it's important to have an idea of what budget you want, but you should stay open, and you should definitely, super important, you should meet your photographer. Like I said, if it's quarantine or you're out of state and you can't meet with them in person, if you can meet in person, when we're not quarantined, that's ideal. If you can't, at least do a video meeting with them, or if for some reason you can't do that, just do a phone meeting.
Yeah. Well, and I love what Randy from Incognito said earlier about, not everybody knowing Zoom, but it's one of the easiest conferencing options. There's Skype and FaceTime.
Right.
Zoom has been fantastic, and it's a really nice free app that people can utilize to have these conversations.
Yeah. I agree.
Awesome.
Yeah, there's lots of options, right? So, and you can get a Skype account or Duo on Android, Samsung Duo, and it's free and it's easy, and there's no excuse to. But even if you're technologically challenged, you can just have a phone meeting with your photographer and just do it that way. You'll get so much more out of it than just reading a pricing sheet.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you again for being here tonight and giving us some little do's and don'ts about photography. I think the experience that you and other photographers have is just priceless. And I try to tell couples that all the time. That experience is going to save you in so many situations. It's worth every penny. At the end of the day, you're going to have incredible portraits like the one behind you.
Yeah. That's very true. Thanks, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you for being here. I appreciate it. Hey, Randy, I wanted to ask you a question. One of our brides online was wondering about suits. She wanted to know how far in advance to order suits or to get fitted for suits.
Yeah, sure. So that depends a little bit on whether they're interested in purchasing or renting. We can have a suit wedding put together in as quick as 3 weeks if need be. So, I would say that, the specifics of the wedding, it's really going to depend on the specifics, what they're looking for, and whether they want to go with a rental or a purchase. Our suit program, we have a couple different things that we do at Incognito. So we sell suits and we also rent suits. The rental suits we have available in stock. The suits that we sell we have to have them measured, and then we have the suits brought in. That process can take as little as 2 weeks to 4 to 5 weeks. So, most weddings, we have plenty of time. The weddings in the summertime, we can get that taken care of. The best thing for her to do would be to set up consultation. We could go over the specifics with her and find out exactly what she's interested in.
Okay. So, so the time frame, you know, from 2 to 6 weeks, basically, but the more time, the better.
Yeah, I mean, like we've already got some. We have a lot of weddings for this particular fall, and anyone that was sized before we closed, all their suits are already in stock now. So everything's been ordered. So I mean, we have weddings that are in September and October. We have a few hundred suits that are in stock right now, just waiting for customers to come in and do the fittings. So the ones that we've had in the store that are getting married in May, and there have been some weddings that we have serviced where they're not the full 7, 8, 10 people in a wedding, but a lot of people have said, well, I'm going to have a small intimate ceremony. And then they're going to do like next year on their 1-year anniversary, they're going to have the big bash. That's what a lot of weddings, the direction that a lot of weddings have gone in that we've seen so far in April and May weddings. You know, those weddings we've been able to service and get the suits in their hands, either by delivering to their home or they've swung by and we've run them out to their car. But the alterations have already been pre-done for them.
That's
so
awesome.
Yeah, I mean, so that was a long answer to a short question, but but the more
Another
time,
good
obviously,
spiel.
you know what, I got a lot of good spiel. So, but the more time, the better. But you know, I mean, brides, because I saw a lot of brides were concerned that you know, because guys are notorious for procrastinating.
Yes.
So they put things off, and the tuxes generally are one of the last things, or suits. I say tuxes, it flows out so freely, but really the business has turned into more of a suit business than a tuxedo business. You know, notoriously are always put off towards the end of the planning process. But in saying that, you know, we do have a lot of weddings that do plan in advance, and that's usually initiated by the brides.
Right, right, of course. Like everything.
Like everything, exactly.
That's awesome. Well, thank you for that answer. I definitely appreciate it.
No.
So there's some information for you, Lisa. I hope that's good for you to follow up with incognito. Next, I wanted to stop over and chat with our friend Julia Corey from Julia K. Let's see here. Here's Julia. Hi, Julia.
Hey, love, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you tonight?
Doing great. Good to see everybody out tonight. This is wonderful. Thanks you guys so much for doing this again.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how much it feels like, I don't know, maybe this was just the week, but
we're getting there. We're getting there.
We're getting there, and B, we started connecting really heavily with clients this week.
Good.
I think it was maybe it just wasn't time. I mean, we've been connecting every day, but but is your heart in it? Because I'm just going to be really honest. Like, there's been this huge mourning process that's happened. Just like John was talking about. Every phone call that was coming in, every single email that came in was cancel, and just seemed like months go away. A lot of it has been rescheduled for sure, but then, we don't do just the wedding business. We are a full service caterer. So,
yeah, you do a lot.
Yeah, there are tons and tons of events that have nothing to do with the wedding business that just will never, that revenue is just gone. And
so that was, and that was one of the things I wanted to chat with you about. And I don't think couples understand or know that you have so many connections, because you do cater at so many different facilities for so many different things.
Yes.
If a couple reaches out to you because they need help finding another facility, what kind of connections, can you tell us a little bit about those? Yeah.
Yeah, really, really great question. So we're so very fortunate to be affiliated with just so many wonderful venues here in Rochester. Some of those venues are completely and thoroughly booked for this year. A lot of the connections, however, that we have it kind of across the board. We have a lot of places where we can plug and play people in different venues. And, let's get creative and get kind of thinking outside the box too. Airbnb has been a really great if you want to say, I mean, we can turn an Airbnb into a great venue if you would like. We work with specifically one of our clients, or actually one of our vendors here in town, actually owns some Airbnbs out on Keuka Lake, and we do catering for him out there. You know,
Nice.
we can keep it closer as well too. Plus, if you're looking to keep your scope a little bit more intimate, you're looking to really kind of narrow, you know, the amount of people that you're going to be inviting, for, you know, afraid of, you know, COVID, or just, you know, that's where your head is at now. That's where your budget is at now. Because, you know, let's be honest, this is affecting people's livelihood. And we're also getting people that are saying to us they're having to postpone a year out, because now they have to, you know, gather money up a little bit, you know, gather a little bit more money up, get their budget back in order. So so we're being flexible with that, but also we're trying to think with them, like, if it's really imperative that you absolutely want to move forward this year, how can we think about that? You know, how can we maybe just keep it small at first, and then maybe next year plan a bigger party, or however that might work. So Airbnb is a really great way to do that. Your backyard is a really great way to do that. And then we can talk about working with some of our other vendors, some of our tent folks like McCarthy's, or, you know, Nolan's, or whoever that might be, because, you know, those guys have been hit really, really hard. We've all been hit hard, but, you know, just to kind of spread the joy and spread the wealth
and those are great options too. I didn't even think about that. You can pitch a tent just about anywhere, right?
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
Cayuga Lake is beautiful too. I mean, we're so blessed to have the amazing creation of the Finger Lakes.
100%.
And yeah, and to be able to put a tent up down there. Yeah, we love McCarthy, Nolan, Hank Parker. They're amazing guys.
Yep,
Yeah.
all of them. So, and they're doing a great job, you know, finding different avenues of revenue, helping our frontline workers at the hospital, and all of that as well. So, yeah, however we can think about just reimagining your day, we're in it with you as far as
right. Well, and I think the other thing is that couples need to keep in mind is that once you get your family and friends together, and you have some great food and some great music, nothing else matters. You know, it can be downplaying,
it really doesn't.
But who
it really
cares?
Doesn't.
Yeah.
It really, really doesn't, for sure. 100%.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for helping us think out of the box tonight.
Yeah, no problem.
So how do people connect with Julia K. Caters?
Yeah, that's a really good question. So we are on Facebook at Julia K. Caters. We are on Instagram at Julia K. Caters. You can reach out to us at www.juliakkcaters. And all of our contact information is there. We're located on your website as well. And we have a whole profile there. Love to have you guys go there and check that out. Tons of pictures. Our Instagram is like a virtual photo book. Anything you can imagine, it's incredible. A lot of good
That's
food
awesome.
porn. It's really good. Yeah, it's good stuff.
Good visuals of good food. That's
stuff.
awesome.
Good stuff. Thank you guys so much. Really.
Yeah, my pleasure. We'll do it again.
Sounds good.
All right. Thanks, Julia.
Welcome.
All right. Take care. So my next guest is funny and a little kooky crazy, but you have to be a dance pro. Hi, Katie. All right, let me get you on here. Hi. There she is. Hi, Katie. So let's see, where are you? Let me hear. Let's try this again.
You're frozen. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. Okay. So yeah, so Katie, tell me a little bit about Fred Astaire Dance Studio. Hi, Katie.
Hi.
Oh my gosh. Sorry about that.
That's okay.
I was freaking out.
That's okay.
I hate these, you know, technology is great, When it
When
works.
it works.
When it works.
Exactly.
Please stop doing this to me. Just keep working.
I was gonna take over, Theo.
Oh man, I'm sweating bullets over here. Okay, I feel better
Oh,
now.
you're doing great.
So, and I was right in the middle of a great introduction. So, the great Katie Norris from Fred Astaire Dance Studios. Dun,
Hey,
dun,
everybody.
dun.
Da, 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 da. Yeah,
All
you gotta
right.
come with theme music, you know?
That's right. So tell me about Fred Astaire Dance Studios, Katie.
Okay, Fred Astaire Dance Studio. We are on Monroe Ave, just up the street from 12 Corners. Unfortunately, we are closed right now, much like everybody else. But we will take care of your first dances, your parent dances, your ensemble dances. We mostly do private lessons, but we can also do private group classes for you and your parents, both sets of parents, right? Because you all have to dance together. And we
Oh, that's
also do
fun.
private group classes for your whole wedding party.
Oh, that's awesome. So, what's the biggest group that you've had together?
I would say, I think it was 12 people. It was the whole bridal party.
Wow.
Yeah.
Was it fun?
Oh, yeah. It was a ton of fun. And they were all like, the bride and groom had lessons separately. And then they brought everybody in, I think, for 2 private group classes. And afterward, they were like, everyone feels so much better about going onto the dance floor now. You know, everyone has 1 or 2 things in their back pocket. They can pull out, feel comfortable. You're good to go.
That's awesome. That is awesome. So tell me about, I mean, I try to tell couples all the time that you need to get a hold of Fred Astaire Dance Studio, get dance lessons so your first dance looks amazing. You know, it's going to be photographed, it's going to be on video, hopefully, and you want to look great. When Lisa and I did ours, we were clueless. We were just sweeping the floor. It was terrible. And so I tell people, don't do that. You want to look so much better. So tell me, how long does it take to have a couple up to par?
That's a very tough question.
Well, give me a ballpark.
I would say ballpark. Okay.
Ballpark,
Ballpark,
yes.
I would say at least come in, if you can, 6 to 5 months before, just so you know what you're getting into.
Right.
Because the closer you get to your wedding, the more your brain's going to be in a million places. If you can learn your dance and start dancing 6 months before your wedding, can you imagine how carefree you're going to be about it 2 months before? You're good to go.
Yeah, that's awesome. I never thought about that because that'll totally reduce your stress and make you feel that much more comfortable.
Because it's a performance. At the end of the day, that's what it is. You know, and that scares people. That word scares people. But it's true. You're going to be in front of your friends and your family and the videographer and the photographers. You know, you want to not be stressed about it, and you don't want to wait to the last minute.
Right, and being comfortable is key. So how many ballpark lessons would a couple want to take in preparation?
Again, that's tricky because it works. We have a lot of different couples with a lot of different scenarios, right? First of all, dancing is going to be specific to you. Were you an athlete? Did you happen to dance when you were a kid? You know, do you feel like you're completely uncoordinated? All those things are going to add up to your approach to these lessons and learning to dance, because you're learning a skill. You know, so I would say if anybody took like music lessons when you were a kid, or anytime you learn a new sport, roughly 25-ish lessons until you feel really good about it and you want to feel really good.
True. So let's take me for an example. Take me, I'm awkward. I like to have fun, but I don't have a dancing bone in my body, right?
Yes.
So how many lessons would I want to before I started feeling comfortable?
I would say at minimum 10. You want it minimum because it takes time. It just takes time. And especially when you're thinking about going into this particular moment, you know, it's not like we're going to get ready and you're going to dance alone in your house like you are right now. You're going to get ready and you're going to dance in front of everyone. Like, it's a high pressure moment. And for a lot of people, you know, I ask them, what's the run of your day? When in the night are you dancing? And they list it all out. They're like, well, obviously the ceremony and then pictures and then cocktail hour. And then some of them dance right away. Some dance right after dinner. That's a long day.
Right. It is a long
You got
day.
to go through the whole day and then still remember everything.
Right. So
and it's not everything. If you practice, it is natural.
Right. Okay. So, and I guess I didn't think about that it, if you want it to come off great, you got to have time to prepare, and that preparation is going to reduce the stress and you won't be as nervous.
Absolutely. And that's really what I'm finding is that people say, like, the ones that say, oh, it's not for me. Oh, I'm not a good dancer. I said, well, that's what we teach you to do, is be a good dancer. So I think you want to hear a little bit more about what I have to say. But I think too that, people's version of dancing is very different. Right. Some people want more than others. So if you're coming in and you really just want to feel comfortable, we can do that. That won't be that hard at all. Now, if you want to do a lift, we should add on some time for practice on that.
Is that the Dirty Dancing lift?
Yes, the Dirty Dancing lift.
Okay. So my son just turned me on to, I think it's something on Netflix, was
The Movies That Made You.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. And we just saw it the other night, and it was fantastic about Dirty Dancing.
I watched that too. Of course I did, right?
Of course you did. But it was really cool because it almost didn't get made. And here you have this iconic dancing. I mean, there was some pretty cool dancing in that. And
there was fantastic dancing in that.
Yeah. And you'd think that it was some big budget movie, and it wasn't.
No, it really wasn't.
Yeah.
But they were great dancers.
Great dancers. So you too can be Dirty
You
Dancing.
too can do it. It's true. It's fun. Dancing is at its heart. It's very fun.
That's awesome. Well, and I think too, that's one thing that a couple can do to kind of enjoy the planning process, reduce the stress a little bit, and have a good time while they're going through all this.
Absolutely. So, it is a fun thing. And a lot of people will come in and be in a tizzy a little bit about planning or their day or, regular life as it happens. Right. And at the end of the lesson, they're like, all right.
Oh,
it's a little bit less stress.
That's awesome. That is awesome.
Yeah, it's great.
Well, thank you for bringing your excitement and advice to the table tonight.
Yes.
We really appreciate it.
And I do want to mention quickly that we do have some playlists on our social media. So if you guys want to try dancing together in your house, no one's looking, just get comfortable dancing it all. Doesn't matter if it's what I teach you or what we teach at the studio. Just dance it out a little bit.
Awesome. That could be fun. So how do people get in touch with you to set up appointments for the future?
So you can email us right now. You can give us a call. I think my bosses are going in, so they check the voicemails. You can always send us a message on Facebook or Instagram.
Awesome. That's fantastic. Well, thank you so much, Katie. I really appreciate it. All right. Have a great night.
Bye-bye. You too.
Thanks. So I wanted to chat with Stella from Stella. There she is. Stella's Bridal. Hi, Stella.
Hi. How are you doing?
I'm doing
Hey.
I'm doing great. You look lovely. Nice to see you dressed for the occasion.
Yes, I'm sporting bridal style 9618 in the desert champagne ivory. You can also get this in the solid ivory version as well if you prefer. And these jewels are from our designer, Marionette. I mean, look at that. I feel a little awkward sitting in a wedding. I mean, this thing is huge. Like, let me just show. Oh, this is a huge wedding dress.
Wow.
Sitting in my living room. It's all for the brides.
It's stunning. It's nice to see.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. I think my neighbors are concerned, but that's okay.
That's okay. It's not like it's the first time they've seen you in a wedding dress.
That's true.
So tell me a little bit about what's going on with you at Stella's Bridal and how you're communicating with the brides and how brides can stay in touch with you throughout all this craziness.
I I know. So we are an open book at Stella's Bridal, and I always tell our girls, like, I'm going to give it to you straight. I am not going to give you these, run-of-the-mill answers. What I know is what my girls know. And so we are very heavy on Instagram, if you can tell. So unfortunately, just as a little PSA, we do not have a Facebook account at this current time. Unfortunately, it was hacked. We're trying to reclaim our account. So if you're looking to follow us on social media, hop over to Instagram at Stella's Bridal, or you can check us out on our website, stellasbridalboutique.com. But we're really heavy into Instagram right now, and I think a lot of our girls are too. I mean, honestly, you got to go where the brides go. And in this day and age, it's all about the gram.
Yeah, and it's a platform that's really taken over with so many people, and it's a great audience, and people have a lot of fun with it.
Absolutely. So I DM girls. I'm also texting right now, which is really, really fun. Honestly, if anything, this whole situation has given us a whole new outlook into the way that we want to communicate with our brides moving forward. And I gotta say, it's really fun. Like, I'll be sitting down, with my son and texting brides, and they're looking to book an appointment. They're looking to book a virtual consultation, and we're texting back and forth just to get to know each other. And they feel a sense of friendship and trust, and we're building a relationship, and they're entrusting me with their wedding dress. So it's really cool.
That's awesome. And that's one of the things that I don't even think about, is that communication is so important ahead of time. And especially being able to text back and forth, you get a little bit of a sense of who you're talking to. So when you do meet, you're like, oh, we've been texting, we're friends. Let's look at wedding gowns.
On the phone, and now I can send all these cute little hearts and smiley faces, and it's just so much love. So I love my brides. I love it.
That's awesome. So tell me, some of the stuff that's brides are chatting about now all over the internet, different forums. Tell me some of the stuff that you hear that they shouldn't listen to or should listen to.
Yeah, so there are a lot of forums that are really, really helpful for brides, and we get DMs on the daily of brides freaking out. They're like, Stelly, oh my gosh, like, I hate to keep blowing up your DM, but I'm freaking out. What about this? What about that? And I know you said not to worry, but I keep reading it on this one forum. And let's just say, let's take those forums with a grain of salt. Everybody who participates in those forums, they're coming from different positions. They might not even be a Rochester bride. They might be out of state. They can be super helpful in terms of swapping decor or ideas of where to go shop, in terms of vendors. They can be super, super helpful, but they can also be a petri dish of panic and fear, is what I like to say. Obviously, women, when you hear one story, that one story goes around and around and around. It's a really horrible game of telephone, right?
Right.
So we take one situation, blow it up. We're a bunch of, hens in the hen house. Just, and did you hear that one girl? And oh my gosh, this happened to her. Whew. Take a breath. Let's calm down. Let's reel it back. What I can say, there are two really, really large rumors going on right now in the bridal forum world. And I know this because I get DMs on the daily about them. The first one, Theo, are, oh my gosh, Stelly, all these brides are saying that if you don't have your alterations booked right now, you're not getting alterations on your wedding dress if you're a summer bride. I don't know who she is. I don't know where she bought her dress from, but if you were Stella's bride, honey, I can guarantee that you are going to have your alterations done in time for your wedding. So the typical time frame is 6 to 8 weeks out from your wedding is when you would start your first fitting for alterations. However, nothing is typical right now, and clearly, just as all of our panelists on here have spoken about, we are all starting to create new normals, right? We are creating plan B, plan C, plan D. It's a very fluid process as we continue to move through this whole situation together. And so our alteration professionals definitely already have plans that they're going to have in place for when we can finally all reopen.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, and I think the biggest thing is with all the information that's out there, especially now, like you said, it's all over the place. is what do you listen to? You know, so so what kind of advice would you give girls if they're, you know, they're seeing all this stuff go on? You know, is the best advice just stay in touch with you to verify the information before you freak out?
Absolutely. So the best thing to do is just to maybe not comment, reel it back a little. And obviously, if you're not a Stella's Bride, wherever you bought your dress, you want to contact your retailer. You want to contact your boutique, wherever you purchased your gown, and you want to go to the source and find out what they are suggesting that you do. If you are a Stella's Bride and you are still waiting on your order, I can tell you as of right now, tonight at whatever time, all orders are still right on track for arrival time. So whenever you purchased your gown through us, we discuss when an anticipated time should be for when your gown will arrive. And we have experienced 0 delays. If anything, Theo, we actually have gowns arriving early. Like, let me show you. It's good.
That is amazing.
Like, these are all, you see this? These all came in within 2 days.
Wow.
2 days.
Wow.
I just called all girls today to tell them their gowns are in, and they're freaking out. Like, you want to hear a happy bride on the phone. It's a good
Well,
so even if you have not, oh, go ahead.
And part of that has to do with your amazing manufacturers.
Yes, thank you for saying that. So our designers, that actually leads me into my next topic. If you're a bride who is like, oh my gosh, my wedding's in November or December, maybe even October, and I still haven't purchased my wedding dress because I was going to go shopping in March or April or May,
Right.
Guess what, girls? Don't worry. Our designers have ramped up their production. They have ramped up what they are going to have in terms of in-stock availability, shortened order time for custom orders, and they are going to have their shelves stocked to the brim with all the best sellers and all the different sizes and colors for our girls.
Oh, that's awesome.
And they're not made in China.
Well, and that's really when this happened. And we chatted a little bit about that before. I was impressed that one, your gowns aren't made in China, and so Justin Alexander is one of your big designers. Where are they based out of?
They're European based. Don't worry, not Italy, girls. That's like the second time it was. Our designers, they are based all over the world, the Ukraine as well as India. Those are some of our common places that we are in, and you know, luckily coronavirus hasn't hit hard there. And
That's
just
awesome.
a little fun fact, not to give too much behind the scenes info, but all of our manufacturers are at a 98% production rate, and that is as
Wow.
factual as today. So 98% production rate. They are not in the situation we are in terms of coronavirus numbers and in the States. So they've really just done a tremendous job. Our girls do not need to worry. I sleep easy, so they should sleep easy. I do want to make a note though, Theo, that if our girls have not received their phone call that their dress is in, that's because it is still the same amount of time to order your wedding dress. So
Right.
I think we have this natural, like, oh my gosh, there's a pandemic. I want my dress in my hands. It's still going to take the allotted time to special order a gown. However, we have seen them arrive within a matter of weeks or a month early.
Yeah, and that's just normal. So, yeah, that's just normal. So Christy was asking on Facebook a price range of these beautiful gowns that you have available.
Yes, so we have something for everyone. So if you are looking to spend less than $1,000, we have an amazing sample selection from our designers. What that means is that you would purchase our sample as is off the rack, that we're no longer able to reorder with the designer, but you can purchase our sample, which is in really, really great condition for our boutique, and usually get 50% off or more. If you
Wow.
are looking to special order the wedding dress, we start at about $1,200 and go all the way up to about $4,500. But don't get scared. I know that number is a little intense. Most often, brides will fall anywhere between $1,500 to $2,500 with our gowns.
Nice. So you really do have something for every budget.
We really do. And I'm Mama Stell, and I'm here to make your wedding dress dreams come true. I do everything that I can in my power to make sure that we can meet in the middle, get you what you want, and get it in the price range that you desire.
That's awesome. Well, and that's one thing that I tell couples all the time is that when you're dealing with local companies that are small business, you're very fortunate to be able to deal with the owner, and the amount of attention and service you're going to get is unlike anything else.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so I appreciate that, and I know that brides appreciate being a Stella bride. So thank you for being here tonight. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Theo. We appreciate seeing you. We love you. Mwah. Love to Lisa.
Keep up the good work.
Oh, thanks, you too, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
So Les, my friend Les from Tuxedo Corner. Let's see, Les. Here we go. Hi, Les.
Hi.
All right.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear. I saw you dancing earlier when
Yeah.
Katie from Fred Astaire was on.
Yeah, well, I've got the moves.
You've been doing this a while. That's why.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
But,
that's why.
Listen, before I get started, I just want to say thank you to you and everyone that works for you to set this up. Give us some sanity of the business world now. Take us out of our quarantine and everything else.
Yeah, it's my pleasure. It's a lot of fun for us too, and we've found it's just a great way to stay in touch with couples and even just wedding professionals. Having a little get together, seeing what everyone else is doing and how they're surviving, and it's great to be able to have that community.
Right, definitely. I'm going to keep it short because I know you're running over a little time here.
Yeah, we got started late. That was my fault. I apologize.
Yeah, that's all right. But all I want to say is that, you got to support the little business guy.
Absolutely.
And women.
Yes.
We'll get through this.
Amen.
We're all prepared to do what we have to do. Just like Randy said, there's no sense of me repeating, but we're ready. We have our store cleaned. The mannequins are all been cleaned and they're all quarantined for 14 days, so they're ready to go. Our products have been always, top shelf clean.
Nice.
We are doing appointments on phone, on Facebook, whatever it takes, we'll do it for the customer.
Nice.
The men are the last thing in this whole scenario.
Right.
The bridal dress, the event, or the place first. We don't know from day to day right now.
Right.
So it's one day at a time. And we will get through it. We just have to keep our heads together and make it right.
That's it. So tell me, so for couples that aren't familiar with Tuxedo Corner, tell me about your beautiful new building. So when we do get the green light, where they can come see you and get a hold of you.
So we're on East Ridge Road, 2040 East Ridge Road in Arundequoit. It's I semi-retired. I closed one location and we combined it into this one beautiful store. We looked at everything that we did in the past and what does a showroom need? Does it need this? Does it need that? We have a waiting room. We have displays for tuxedos. We have displays for suits. We have a private fitting room. We have tailors. We have product on premise.
Nice.
Before this all happened, we've done funerals that are a day away. Johnny's grandma died and they have nothing for him to wear. Well,
right. What do you do?
We did it. We do it in one day. So, everything, we've been around for 39 years. Now I'm passing it on to my son, Craig, which has done an astronomical job. So
he's quite the fashionable kind of guy. He's got some good taste.
He looks like Pitbull. Oh, no.
Pitbull. Yeah, he does.
That's it.
He does.
No, no, we have a lot of fun with that. So it's great to have it's a family business. And we treat everybody that comes in our store like family.
That's awesome. Just like Olive Garden.
Yeah, now we do a little better.
Even better.
Even better, So if you have a question, and like somebody said before, my expertise, you can't buy it.
Right. Exactly.
My son's expertise, you can't buy it. It comes free.
Right.
We'll guide you. We'll take you through the process. There's no one in all the weddings that we have booked, they're either been postponed, moved up, but we really don't know. All of a sudden on the radio you say, "Oh my God, in the fall it's going to be worse."
Right.
They don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. So we're going to deal with today, one day at a time.
That's awesome. Great advice. And I think that's what we all need to keep saying to ourselves and remembering that it hasn't been that long that we've been in this situation, like John from Encore is saying. And, it's before we know it, we're going to have, events right around the corner. So it's good to know that you guys are ready to go. When we get this green light, they can pick up the phone and stop in and know that you've got stuff on hand and ready to go.
Right. We've made provisions for safety.
Right. Perfect.
We have people that have coming in, bride and grooms now that want to have a private session with us.
Nice.
And, the visuals are great, Zoom and everything else. But when you can do it privately in the store with all the safety factors in place,
right?
They love it.
That's awesome. That's great service.
And there's nothing to worry about, if you have the wedding booked in September and it's not going to happen and it's going to happen next year, we're going to take care of you at the same price. There will be no increases,
nice.
from this year to next year. And so we are fully prepared. Everything is in stock. The suits are there, the shirts, the ties, tuxedos, you name it, we'll make your man look good.
I am fully confident. I know I know you can do that.
One thing, and I've said this for 45 years, cleanliness is next to godliness. All you got to do is wash your hands and wear a mask.
And little did you know how important that was.
And
now we know.
Now we know. So don't forget.
That's awesome.
Cleanliness is next to godliness.
Well, thank you, Les, for that advice. Thank you for being here tonight. We really appreciate it. We really appreciate you being around and being in the business for so long.
Listen, I'm glad to be around.
Amen to that.
Amen.
One more day.
One more day. Look out, women. I'm coming.
Oh, have a great night, Les. We really appreciate it.
Thank you to everybody. And listen, everybody, we'll be there. One day at a time.
Amen. One day at a time. Thanks, Les.
Shop the small guy.
That's it. That's important. All right. Take care.
You too.
I'm going to stop over and see my friend Nicole Deanna from Rodan and Fields, our last but not least guest. There she is.
Hi, Theo. How are you?
I'm great, Nicole. What the heck do you have on your face?
I am masking my face right now since, it's evening. I'm decompressing. The kids are almost getting ready for bed. And I am just, I got my 2 masks on. One is for calming my skin and providing moisture. And the other one is for my pores. And it won an award just recently because we have the best products ever.
So I should be doing this right now too, is what you're telling me.
Yes, you absolutely should. We have 5. You should. We have 5 masks. Steve masks, my kids mask. I mask with my kids. It's so much fun, and it's a great way to honestly decompress in the evening. Is put on a mask, and right now I think I've had it on for a while, but it feels awesome. it really does, and it does wonders for your skin.
So tell me a little bit about Rodan and Fields for people that aren't familiar with Rodan and Fields. Give me just a 1-minute overview of Rodan and Fields skincare.
Okay, so we are the #1 skincare brand in North America. These are the best products I've ever used in my life. I've never received more compliments on my skin and lashes than since I've been using Rodan and Fields. I'm almost at my 2-year Rodan anniversary. These are the doctors, you guys, who created Proactive, and they're world-renowned dermatologists. They went to Stanford, created Proactive. After Proactive, they went back into their office and decided what are, the major skincare concerns that we are facing every day with our clients. And what they did was they came up with regimens to handle all of those concerns. What I love about Rodan and Fields is that they're clinically tested for safety and efficacy. They're backed by science, and they're clinically proven to work on the majority of the people as long as you're using it as directed. Plus, we have a 60-day money-back empty bottle guarantee, so there is no risk to trying and using these fabulous products. I mean, we've had so many awards given to us. We're in magazines, and I just love them. My clients love them, and it really has transformed so many people's skin. And not only are our products like just amazing, but our business opportunity is, especially during this time, Theo, when people are concerned, brides are concerned. I mean, I don't know about you, but I always wanted, to start my journey with my husband, which is 25 years this year, not only healthy, but healthy financially as well. And right now, it's the gorilla in the room, right? Or the 800-pound gorilla in the room that people are afraid, they're scared, they're anxious about their finances because of how many people have been laid off and furloughed. And what's so incredible about this home-based business is not only can we provide people with the hope that they can do what I do and have no background in being a dermatologist. I'm not a dermatologist. I have no experience in this field, but I know these products work, and these doctors are credible and reputable and world-renowned. And there's an opportunity for everybody to make money at home now. And it's low cost, low risk, and low overhead. And as a business owner, how much is it to run your business? Employees, benefits, paying for the rent, your rent and your lease. And you don't have those costs when you're doing a home-based business. So it is just an amazing opportunity if anybody out there wants to get their finances together and become financially strong. This is a great opportunity to do that with.
So just like Les was saying, work with the small local guys and local small business. I love that about the connections that people can make with consultants with such a big company as Rodan and Fields. So how would couples get in touch with you, Nicole, if they wanted more information about the products or the business?
Sure. So I'm on Facebook at Nicole Bianchi, Bianchi, Deanna. They can message me anytime, and I will, be so happy to share more details and information about starting a home-based business or these amazing products, especially before your wedding day. Who doesn't want great skin and lashes? And since we can't get to, our lash artists, and people are not able to get extensions, grow your own lashes and put on some great products to benefit your skin before your one of the biggest days of your life is your wedding.
So what's that lash product that you use?
Lash boost. So my lashes, I have no mascara on, obviously no makeup on, but all my lashes have been are fuller looking, longer looking, all because of a product called Lash Boost, and it is legitimate. It works and it's awesome.
So what do they got to lose, right? Because 60 days,
That's
money
right.
back guarantee. If you don't like it, send it back. So what do you got to lose?
Same thing with our business kits. Our business kits are 60-day money back empty bottle guarantee. Just
That is
pay for
awesome.
It's awesome.
That is awesome. That is awesome. Well, thank you for being here tonight and touching base and showing us that we should be masking with our family at home.
That's right. And thank you, Theo and Lisa, for having me.
Absolutely.
I love you guys.
Love you too. Thanks for being here, Nicole.
Thanks. Many blessings.
So I wanted to ask Jeff from Moreland District a quick question. Jeff, we had a bride earlier asking about pricing structure. How can they get information about your services?
Yeah, if they want to go to my website, 585dj.com, or give us a call at the office, 585-586-5810. Our rates vary based upon date and day and time and what they're looking for. You know, much like John said, they customize each one, you know, depending upon what they add, if they want to have just the DJ service, or if they want to have some uplighting, monograms, photo booths, all those kind of things, then the rates vary based upon what they're interested in having at their event.
Yeah, because there's a lot to choose from too, right?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the options and what we can do with the different materials is endless.
That's awesome.
Whatever they can dream up, we'll try to accommodate for them.
Well, one of my favorite, I'm so glad with the uplighting thing because, and thank God you guys have that service available, because you can take a very ordinary looking room and make it look stunning.
Yes, I mean, you know, it can be, uplighting can accent a room. You know, so it, you know, if you want to have just a little uplighting, it can give dimension. But if you want to really go for the full effect, you know, the more uplights you put in the room, the more it's going to pop.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So
you know,
again, pricing
the lights can change to the beat of the music.
Right there, you go. Even
it'll make Theo's dancing look good.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that, but talk about a dance party. Woo!
Yeah. Yeah,
that's
we can do
awesome.
Anything, you know, the uplighting and all the fun toys that we have now compared to when I started 35 years ago. Yes, it's come a long way.
That's incredible. Well, thank you again for being here tonight. I really appreciate that. And I got to say thank you to all of our wedding professionals. You know, that's one of the things that we are so blessed to be a part of, is this community of people that care. And they care so much that, you know, the flexibility of doing anything and everything that they can to accommodate these couples and families that are, you know, in this situation. And that's I think my biggest point of tonight is, if you come across somebody that isn't flexible or isn't helping, or, you know, just isn't doing that for you and you need help, reach out to us at Rochester Wedding Magazine, rochesterwedding.com, and you can get in touch with these incredible wedding professionals. You know, tonight we're going to have this on our Facebook page, so you can go through it, and the contact information should be there as well in the comments, so you'll be able to do that. But if you can't and still need some guidance, let us know, and we can get you in touch with some of these incredible people. Just to run through really quick again, everybody that was here: Jeff from Moreland Dis that we were just talking to, Randy from Incognito, and again, these are the owners of the companies, and that's really important to know that you're talking to these people. Julia from Julia K, Katie from Fred Astaire, John and Rich from Encore Entertainment, Stella, of course, from Stella's Bridal, Les from Tuxedo Corner, and Nicole Deanna from Rodana Fields. So that's what we have for you tonight. We're going to keep doing this until we can get out and have these wonderful bridal shows and connect with each other face to face in a safe way, of course, which will be right around the corner. We are so excited about being able to do that again soon. We actually have our next bridal show scheduled for the Woodcliff on July 26th, and that's like 3 months away. There's so much that is going to change in 3 months. So we look forward to being there, and you'll get to meet some of the people that were here tonight as well, to have a little bit more of that face-to-face. But in the meantime, keep coming back to our Facebook page and checking. We're going to keep doing this every couple of weeks just to stay in touch. And again, if there's something more that you need, go to rochesterwedding.com and reach out to these amazing wedding professionals. So thanks again for being with us tonight. We hope you had some great information, and we'll be we'll be posting our winner of our contest. For anyone that asks questions, we'll put you in a drawing. We'll pull out a name on Friday, and we'll post the winner on our Facebook page. So look for that as well. So thanks again, and we look forward to seeing you soon. Take care.